Hey there, Ian. So, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, good meeting you. I just named yesterday, I think. I just named a new character in a script I'm writing. His name's Howard.
Brilliant. Good to hear.
I you know
So,
what I
listen,
you know what it was, son?
ready?
It was um it's a horror comedy and it's based I based this character on Captain Howdy
Right.
from The Exorcist, and I'm like it's sort of a parody because we don't ever see this character. It's so it's Captain Howard.
Brilliant, man. I like it. There's loads of coincidences actually with you because I know that you bumped into, I think it was Eli Roth. I think I saw on Instagram. You bumped into him totally by chance when you were
Yep.
screening this film, no?
A few days or maybe just 2 days after the premiere, I was walking around downtown. I don't even live downtown. I was
Right.
walking around to meet my manager because I was gonna sign with him. And
Yeah.
then once I signed with him, I just started walking around since I was downtown anyway, and then I saw him, and then he was texting somebody, and then he showed me that he was texting about my film.
'Cause I think he was he not gonna speak to Chad and the rest of the guys at Black Fawn, something like that, who were actually producers on this film as well now, yeah?
Yeah, because they work with him a lot. So he was gonna text them and say afterwards, after watching it, and he was texting his friend saying, "I'm gonna go watch it now."
Uh-huh.
And then I saw him. But that was just one coincidence out of
A
very
hundred.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, to get picked up by A24 is just a huge thing, especially for a horror movie right now. I mean, you
Right.
you
I
must
mean,
be.
that's
I mean, you must be
that's
over the moon. You must have been over the moon when you found out, and also now to get this whole massive international release must be just
oh yeah,
beyond
well,
belief, no?
the weird thing is that because of these coincidences that when you hear stories like this, it's always from the perspective of someone hearing it. There's always that chance that it is just coincidence. But
Uh,
from my perspective, when it's happening every single day, multiple times a day, it becomes you know almost mathematically impossible. Nothing's mathematically impossible, but it's like it's astronomically so improbable that I have to believe that there's something else guiding this or driving this film. So to a point where when A24 bought it, it was just not a surprise for me, which it sounds like a
sounds
boast,
sounds big-headed, yeah, but it's not. Yeah.
but I wish I wish I didn't have this kind of you know this perspective, because then I would be ecstatic, right? It would be something like winning the World Series,
Yeah.
and you don't know you're gonna do it, and that's why it's such a joy to do it. But uh, that's not happening to me for whatever reason. But I
Uh-huh.
can't complain because uh, you know that all I really wanted to do was make a movie and have people watch it.
Uh-huh. Brilliant. Yeah. Talking of coincidences, I'm so glad that this didn't come out about 5 or 7 years ago when my kids were still babies, so that I didn't, I wouldn't have to stop singing lullabies to them. That's not a spoiler. There are certain things with lullabies in the film. So thank you so much for releasing it a little bit later on. And my kids are now adolescents, so that saved me
Yeah,
having to sing
yeah.
lullabies anymore.
Mike, the character Mike and Jessa, uh,
Hmm.
they're expecting a baby, and uh, the actor that plays Mike is Jeff Young, and he was expecting a baby. So
Just then.
just then, he 9 months pregnant, his wife. So it was. He told me after we recorded, and he said, "This is kind of
Not
troubling."
helping me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But I mean, it works so well. I mean, it's the concept of lullabies is something that we've seen lullabies in so many horror movies, but never really kind of played out this way. So I'm quite curious. Was that something that was very much from the beginning, this idea, or was it more kind of an idea for maybe a like a podcast, and then
Well,
that kind of organically grew into the possibility of making it into a film?
yeah, it did start off as a radio play, scripted podcast, uh, my found footage version of a radio play.
Right.
It would have been the podcast portion of the movie. That would have
Uh-huh.
that would have been audio driven. There wouldn't have been the caregiving aspect and all that.
Yeah.
Uh, but when I was writing it, um, I was at first, I wanted it had to be audio driven, so I needed to figure out what creepy things we could listen to, and backwards songs have always been creepy for me. And I started researching other songs first because there wasn't a theme of a woman, a pregnant woman yet.
Yeah.
It was pretty uh, surface level, just two uh, two podcast hosts, one a skeptic, one a believer, and what happens when you don't believe and you keep denying that that something's up.
Uh-huh.
That's how I started, and I first started listening to um, r rock songs,
Right.
and I found a few, but then I said, "There's no way I can afford to license these." So
Right.
I, I eventually I eventually wound up looking for public domain songs, and then nursery rhyme songs are all public domain.
Yeah. And they're as
And then
spooky as hell. And most of them are as spooky as hell anyway, as you explain in the movie.
that's how
So it worked out. Yeah.
I got lucky that way. That's another coincidence because is
So
once I was forced to use them, and they were the best things to use, right?
yeah, 100%. Yeah. It was quite funny because it kind of the way that I don't want to give it away, but the way that we can kind of read into things that could be in things that we'd never really initially imagined there. The more that we kind of people tell us that they are there. I mean, it reminded me kind of like of songs that we've grown up hearing, and you just imagine there's a certain lyric which is not the right lyric, and you just sang it so long the wrong way that you end up believing that that's kind of the way it is, and that's kind of the same with kind of paranormal things. Like even Nina's character, she's very much a skeptic, but at the same time, because her her co-host is very much the opposite and believes everything. The more he speaks to her and sort of tells her about these audio files, the more she kind of buys into it, regardless of how skeptic she was at the beginning.
That's
Was that
very interesting.
something to kind of was that something that you really kind of set out to do to make sure that the audience kind of felt that it was a really grounded supernatural element to the
Yeah,
story to make sure that it really kind of pulled you in and made you kind of almost buy into it, believe the supernatural side of it.
yeah. I mean, when I found the song, the first one was London Bridge. I went on YouTube and I just, people are doing this stuff for fun, trying to find hidden messages. I
Yeah.
found one for London Bridge, and uh, I didn't alter that song at all for the movie. I just reversed a public domain version in reverse, and then it said those things. So if you heard it, then that's what it says. And I heard Mike kill all. I heard the killer is out, Mike kill all. And then I went ahead and I changed the character to Mike, and I started writing a story about that. But the you know the song itself, it it does you can hear it. So it is grounded right away. Uh
Hmm.
I mean, what whether it's whether it's there's it's meant to sound that way, or whether it's coincidence, that's that's up for interpretation.
Mm.
But
But yeah, I thought it was a great parallel to kind of like the way that we can, even as no matter how skeptical a person might be, it, the more it's repeated, the more even the most skeptic person can end up believing something, right?
right, when the what you said earlier was very interesting. When you if you get a lyric wrong, because you know, like I mean, you're wearing a dead letter hat, and immediately I was thinking of the song Yellow Bed Letter from
From Pearl Jam.
Jam, which you can't even understand what he's saying in it. And if you once you start singing it in a way, it'll eventually mean, or you'll eventually hear that way, and then
Uh-huh.
other people, if enough people hear it that way, then that's it. That's what it is.
Uh-huh.
But what the spooky thing is when enough people make that mistake and believe that that's what the word is in in the lyrics, does the can the lyrics actually change? So
Yeah.
this is the Mandela effect I'm talking about.
I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a video. It's a British comedian called Peter Kay, and it's mistaken lyrics or something like that. It's on YouTube. It's really went viral. It's from ages ago, but and he says what he thinks they sing, and he plays the songs afterwards, and it actually sounds like they're saying the craziest things.
Right, right.
You need to watch that. It's really funny. It reminded me of that when I was watching this completely.
But it's what I'm like, what I guess the paranormal conspiracy theory aspect of that is the the bear the Berenstein Bears, right? How, is it? I forgot what it was that everyone thought it was. I think it was Berenstein or Berenstein, and then
Yeah.
and then or Fruit of the Loom. That's a good one. The Fruit of the Loom underwear. We all remember it as fruit coming out of a horn. Like what?
Right.
But then, uh, if you check, it isn't. And but then people post like old photographs of, hey, look,
Yeah.
there is a horn in it. So does reality change? Does matter change? Or well, actually, ma doesn't even matter if the matter changes because it's the photo we're looking at. So does the
Uh-huh.
photo change, which is which is also matter, but it it's what's the source, right? What's the
Uh-huh.
source of that image? And I don't know.
And I mean the film. I mean, obviously, congratulations on the film being called the scariest horror film you'll ever hear, which is fantastic. But at the same time, it's not just the what we see because if it sorry what we hear. It's what we see as well because it wouldn't work if what we see at the same time as we hear kind of plays into what we're hearing. So how do
Oh,
you, I'm quite curious how you worked very closely with your DOP to kind of make sure that all of the visuals kind of paid their service to what we were hearing on the screen.
very closely because it's like you said, they play with each other, the picture and the audio. I told him I want a lot of negative space. And I want a lot of awkward negative space. I want
Yeah.
the Evie's face to be at the edge of the frame with nothing behind her, and people are looking into
Yeah.
the negative space, trying to make something out of it, the same way as they're listening to reversed songs, trying to make something out of it.
So much so, especially about an hour, about an hour of the way through. I was only watching it on my iPad, but especially kind of about after about the hour mark, I just found my eyes just
Yeah.
scanning every single millimeter of the screen because it just felt like there was something was going to come out all of a sudden. Yeah,
I guess the audio conditions you to do that because a lot of people have mentioned that. Um, yeah, I mean, well, I remember watching the Babadook, and there was just a coat hanging in the background, and I thought it was a ghost,
Right.
and that's all you need to do. You
Yeah.
just you just need to present a ghost story and hang a jacket.
Yeah, it's like Lee. So I remember interviewing Lee Wannell about the Invisible Man as well, and he said that what was really important for him, because you can't see this person, was to make it exactly like you did with this film, is to make the audience think there's something there, but by the use of the camera and the way that the frame kind of makes you kind of investigate the
Right,
whole
right.
screen, right?
I think what's creepier about Undertone is that, well, concept-wise, conceptually, is that the Invisible Man, you already know that it's a man, whereas Abazu could be anything, and that's
Yeah,
so what you're looking for. You don't even know what you're looking for.
yeah. Uh-huh. Listen, they give me a wrap. So just to finish off, then, I know that there's the co-host in the film says to Nina's character that he wants her to listen to the audio live so that they can make it as authentic as possible, her reactions. I'm quite curious, was there anything that you did yourself to the cast, especially to Nina, to make sure to try and create as authentic uh, reactions as possible?
uh, the one, nothing that stands out. The one that stands out is what you mentioned. She listened to those audio things for the first time on her headphones while we were filming. Uh,
Right.
but other things that we did, well, I would often I would often watch other short films or films with her, show her a clip of something that I that that I like, a performance that I thought she might want to use as a reference. Like
Right.
there's one amazing short film called Can We Kiss? It's French,
Uh-huh.
and it's about a an actress that's running late for an audition and decides to randomly read with someone in a coffee shop. And the thing is, the scene that she's reading is that she's breaking up with him. But while she's saying it, the guy goes, "Smile when you say that." And then she ended up smiling, and then she couldn't help but cry. And I just thought, that's kind of the way we naturally sometimes act
Yeah.
when we're trying when we're outwardly trying to express something, but it doesn't match what we feel inside. And then that's when the breakdown happens. And I remember Nina when she told Mama, "I'm pregnant. Your little girl's pregnant." She was smiling, and you know that's just something that I didn't direct her to do, but I just wanted her to know what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and she does the rest because she's just amazing.
Oh, she's fantastic. She's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, they give me the wrap. It's been great to speak to Ian.
Yeah,
Congratulations, man! It's huge. Congratulations. You couldn't get much better than you got, and I wish you the best of luck. Not that you need it, but you'll. I wish you the best of luck with it. And I hope to speak to you again maybe sometime soon, because I know that you've got paranormal activity on the
yeah,
cards, right?
yeah. I'll remember you for when you interview me about that because Captain Howard.
That's part of that one.
No, not that one. No, no.
Oh, nice, this
But,
one.
but
All
I'm
right.
still gonna be, it's still dear to my heart, that character.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for a great film. And like I said, I hope to speak to you again sometime soon.
You shouldn't have called out to her. It's what she wants.